Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 12, Chapter 1 The Staccato of Marching Jackboots, Part 6. And before we start, this video contains spoilers from the anime and manga series. And by the way guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Once Guy finished talking, Ramirez, Dino, and Veldora stood up, as if on cue. Well, it seems like we're just bothering you guys, so I'll leave the rest to you. Right. I also have something important to do. Vesta-san is waiting for me, so I'll see you later, Guy. Then, I should return to guard the labyrinth. Noting their well-rehearsed choreography, it wasn't hard to figure out that they were planning to escape. Guy retorted, and unable to let it go that easily, took another jab. You working? What a sorry excuse for a joke. No, it's the truth, came the reply, but instead of Dino, it was actually from Ramirez. You see, Dino is also helping out as my assistant. That bit of news came as a genuine shock to Guy. Dismissing whatever came from Dino's mouth was one thing, but when even Ramirez backed up his claim, Guy was left with no choice but to believe him. Dino is working? Really? Rimuru, just what kind of magic did you use? Guy's astonishment was directed at me this time, but I also struggled to come up with an answer myself. I don't know either. In our country, we have a simple rule: if you do not work, then you do not eat. He was no exception, that's all, no magic involved. I would have had a much easier time if that kind of convenient magic was at my disposal. Thankfully, I somehow managed to get my point across to Guy since he didn't push the subject any further. Ramirez and the other two had hastily retreated from the room. Well, fine. I thoroughly chewed Dino out this time, so maybe he'll finally put some effort into his reports now, Guy muttered quietly. I decided to leave it at that and change the topic. So, did you come all this way just to ask about Testarossa and the other two? If that was all he wanted to do, then he would have left by now. And seeing how he was still here, there must have been something else on his mind. That was troubling me too, but the reason for my visit is different. His gaze wandered over everyone in the room and came to rest on Leon. I swung by after meeting these guys who call themselves the moderate clown troupe. Aren't they the ones you've been making deals with? Guy asked. Yes, Leon replied. This is an important revelation, not something you can just gloss over. Hey, I interjected, so did you meet with Yuki, too? Yeah, Guy frankly responded to my question. I had recently ordered Sue to search the Freedom Association's headquarters and branches. I hesitated to think that Yuki had intended for yesterday's encounter, and so I figured he would show up in the association headquarters, where he was based. Although he likely would have made efforts to reappear unnoticed, I cautioned Sue and his subordinates to keep an eye out for disguises and substitutes while they reconnoitered the location. I hadn't received any reports of movement as of yet. I also would have never guessed that Guy had encountered Yuki and his troupe. Then, does that mean you were conspiring with Yuki? What? Don't be stupid. Those bastards were trying to escape to the east, so I punished them a little. I was under the impression that Guy and Yuki were on the same side, but evidently, they weren't. That tidbit came as a relief to me, but it still didn't explain Guy's motive. So you didn't kill them? Inquired Leon. While that concerned me too, there was more beneath the surface. Did Yuki intend to abandon everything he had built up in the west and flee to the east? However, catching Guy's ire was definitely a stroke of bad luck for them. Since he said it was just a punishment, he probably didn't kill them. Still, they were undeniably given a serious beatdown. Well, I wasn't about to feel sorry for them, on the contrary, they had certainly deserved every bit of it. They didn't die. At first, I considered capturing them to sell you a favor. However, the situation changed, Guy explained, and went on to recount what happened when he encountered Yuki. As a result, a rough outline of Yuki's surreptitious behavior became clear. Yuki was the employer and the boss of the moderate clown troupe. Well, this only proved that my Raphael-san's prediction was accurate. As for the numerous feats and misdeeds Yuki had carried out, first, he developed the Adventurer Mutual Aid Association into the Freedom Association. Second, he conspired with the Rosso family, who controlled the council, and handled clandestine work for them, which included brokering deals with Demon Lord Leon. Third, he backed Clayman as Demon Lord and was manipulating him from behind the scenes. Fourth, he crushed Echidna, the Mother of Darkness, which commanded the underworld of the East, and engineered the surreptitious organization named Cerberus. By day, he was the head of the Freedom Association, and by night, he led a secret society. This was the first time I'd heard of Echidna, and apparently, it was a considerably large, underground group. The information was authentic, since Leon was the one who provided it. By the way, the Orthrus slave trade that Masayuki allegedly destroyed was supposedly a subsidiary of Cerberus, so Yuki must have been involved with that. Despite Yuki's many talents, he still suffered setbacks that stemmed from his overconfident personality. A major flaw of his was that he would misjudge an opponent's strength. One look from Guy should have been enough for him to understand just how much trouble he was in. Fortunately for him, Guy decided to let him off the hook, so I suppose I could only commend his exceptional luck. Yet the fact that Yuki survived that encounter left me with mixed feelings. I wouldn't go so far as to wish death upon my fellow countrymen. At the same time, I couldn't forgive his actions, either. Yuki had the facade of a kind person, all the while secretly leading Leon and the Rosso family, which was headed by Granbell, around by their noses. Not only that, but he also employed the moderate clown troupe to set Hinata up for a fight against me. His utmost goal was this childish dream, one of world domination, and I couldn't even laugh because of the implications. By the way, why did Guy forgive Yuki so easily? What are you planning, since you let Yuki go like that? Well, it was all for a game. The word game didn't make much sense to me, yet Guy seemed to ignore my confusion and continued on with his story. According to him, the Eastern Empire would soon make a move. Guy had let Yuki go because he was offered a deal. Yuki would sow chaos among the ranks of the Eastern Empire in exchange for sparing his life. Incredulous, I asked Guy, hey, you don't seem to want the Western nations to collapse, what's up with that? The answer I got was even more surprising than the one before. It's my job to manage them so that they don't collapse. Well, I don't want too many of them, though. The entire human race will be ruled by demon lords. That's my ultimate objective. That must have been the game Guy was talking about. When he has complete control over humanity, victory is his. No. Then why did you order Misery-san to go destroy the council? The members of the council would have been wiped out right before the impending invasion from the east. Had that happened, the Western nations would have been royally screwed. Any efforts to coordinate a defense amongst countries would have been impossible, their fates most likely sealed before they even had a chance to fight. You can just call her Misery, Guy smirked at my question, then continued. I approved of Misery's operation in order to unite the West. What does that even mean? Answer. It is likely that the plan was to bolster Master's control in the West by instilling fear in council member states. So in other words, what he implied was something like this. The council members are wiped out by a demon lord, and the humans fall into panic. Then, if I were to reach out to them, the humans wouldn't hesitate to seek my protection. To that end, a little sacrifice was trivial. Answer. That is likely correct. I see. They had purposefully concocted an extreme plot, which could easily paint me in a good light. Though I felt that Guy's aim and Misery's intentions didn't quite align, they were trying to work things in my favor. No, that's not it. I guess they thought they could use me to manage the Western nations. But I was one step ahead of Guy, and already had my hands on the West. While I didn't really think that far ahead, the council was completely within Testaross's unrelenting grasp. Guy's goal wasn't to destroy humanity, but rather the exact opposite. He wanted to properly manage the human race so they wouldn't perish due to their own stupidity. Thus, if I were to take on that role, it would be a boon to him. Nevertheless, this failure marked a positive development for him. I figured one thing out though, Guy is a slacker at heart. I was now convinced that things would be better if I handled them myself. Then, you won't have any problem with me dominating the West, I assume? Nope. Unless those idiots forget who's boss, I have no intention of butting in. That's a relief.